wonders. Today we're going to move around a little bit, get the blood flowing, get you out of a slump that you might be in, whether it's a mid-afternoon slump, maybe you wake up feeling a little bit sluggish, or maybe you're just feeling down and out. So we're gonna move around, try to pick things up, and hopefully get you feeling a little better. So we're gonna start standing today, so go ahead and make your way to the front of your mat, or if you're just on your carpet, at home, wherever you are, is great. So let's find our base, starting at those feet. Feel free to move around a little bit, maybe rock forward up onto those toes, maybe down on the heels, see if you can lift those toes, a little bit harder to balance that way. You can walk around on your mat, just gonna move and wake up the ankles, the feet, those legs. Just take a few breaths, just start to notice, check in how you're feeling right now. Maybe what brought you to this point to watch this video, and just what you're hoping to get out of it. It's almost like an intention for your practice today, whether that's to energize, to strengthen, maybe it's just to decompress and take some time for yourself. So let's bring those feet back to center. They can be hip width apart, they can be all the way together, whatever feels more comfortable for you, but really just try to ground down, connect those feet with the floor or the mat underneath you, almost like you're trying to push the floor away from you. So really grounding down, especially into those big toes. Let's lift up through those knees. So we're not locking those knees out, we're just engaging through those thighs. Let's keep a little bend in those knees. The lower belly is going to drop in and up, and let's take a big shoulder roll back and down. Palms facing forward, fingertips reaching down. Lifting tall through the crown of your head, maybe you close those eyes, maybe you find a gentle gaze down at the floor. But once again, let's come back maybe to that intention as to why you are practicing yoga today. And maybe you don't have a reason, and that's okay too. But just try to pause for a moment and think about that. Maybe you start to notice how you are breathing. Maybe that breath slows down a little bit. And then let's take a few breaths together. So on that next inhale, let's just shrug those shoulders up towards the ears. And on the exhale, we're going to breathe out through the mouth as we let those shoulders drop. So nice deep breath in through the nose, rolling those shoulders forward and up, and a long breath out through the mouth as those shoulders relax. One more time like that. Inhaling as we lift. Exhale. Just sigh it out. Let's keep the shoulders as they are. We're going to try to create that same sound with your breath, but we're going to try to just breathe through the nose. So maybe the next breath in, you take another deep breath in through the nose. And then you also breathe out through the nose, but try to create that same sound, but with the mouth closed. So just give it a try. Sometimes you have to press that air out through the back of the throat in order to create that sound. We call it our whisper breath or the ujjayi breath. Let's try 3 more breaths here. In through the nose and out through the nose. Awesome. Just making that breath a little more intentional. A little bit fuller, a little bit longer. All right, then go ahead and just come back to your natural breath. Relaxing those arms, relaxing those hands. Let's bring those feet out a little bit wider. So a little wider than those hips, the toes just pointing straight ahead. We're going to use a little breathing exercise to kind of help wake up the mind and the body. So it's a movement with our arms, with our breath. It might take you a few times to get the hang of it. Hopefully I don't mess you up and make it confusing. But what we're going to do is, essentially it's 3 inhales and 1 long exhale, but we're moving our body with it. So I'll show you and then we can move together. So you're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So we go breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe out. As you bend the knees, sweep those arms down, and then breathe in, and out. Try to keep the spine long. In, and out. All right, let's give it a try together. So when you're ready, take a breath in through the nose, in through the nose, in through the nose, out through the mouth. In, and out. In, out. out. 2 more times. In, and out. One last time. In, and out. Go ahead and come all the way up. Breathe the air all the way out. Shake out those arms. Walk those feet back to center. Maybe you're a little out of breath, like me, but just come back to center for a moment. Ground down once again into those feet, and just notice what's going on. Maybe the heart's beating faster, maybe you're breathing a little quicker. See where the mind is at. Sometimes that helps clear the head a little bit as we get that breath and the body moving. So we'll just take 3 more breaths here. Maybe slowing down the exhale a little bit more. If you feel lightheaded, breathe out through the mouth. Keep those knees a little bent. And 1 more full breath. All right, on our next breath in, let's slowly reach those arms out and up. And on the breath out, we're going to bend the knees, hinging at the hips, and let's fold over those legs, finding a little forward fold. Deep bend in those knees, lifting all the way back up. Reaching those arms up high, and exhaling, hands to your heart center. Inhaling as you reach out and up. Exhaling, swan dive down, forward fold. Untucking that head. Inhale, bending those knees, bring those arms with you, stand all the way up. Exhaling, hands to your heart center. 1 more time like that as we move with the breath. Inhaling as you lift. Exhaling as you fold. Inhale, using those legs to lift all the way up. And exhaling, hands to your heart center. This time we're going to come all the way down. So we'll inhale, reaching those arms up. Exhaling, swan dive down. Let's bring those hands all the way to the floor. So bend those knees as much as you need to. And let's step both feet back. Lifting those hips back and up. Finding your downward dog. Taking a few breaths here. Feel free to walk out those heels. Bending one knee towards the mat and then the other. Just finding your space in your downward dog. Now just like in our mountain pose, when we were grounding down into those big toes, you can still ground down into those toes, relaxing through the heels, but then bringing awareness to those fingertips. Try to reach those fingertips forward, and then grounding down into the pointer fingers and the thumbs. Nice and strong on that next breath in, shifting your weight forward into a plank. You can be in a low plank or a high plank. Just bringing those shoulders right above the wrists. And then on the breath out, engaging that lower belly, lifting those hips up high, downward dog. Inhaling forward, back to that plank. Drawing in through that low belly as we lift those hips back up. 2 more times with your breath, inhaling forward. Exhaling, downward dog. And last time, inhaling forward to that plank. And exhaling, hips lift up high. Okay, on our next inhale, shifting your weight into your left leg. Let's lift our right leg back and up. On the exhale, we'll bend that left knee, or right knee, and step that right foot forward towards the front of your mat. Stepping the left foot in a little bit closer as you turn your left foot out towards the side. We will slowly make our way up to standing into our warrior one. Go ahead and bring those hands to your heart center. Now both feet are flat on the mat. We've got those left toes pointing out to the diagonal. But bringing awareness to the outer edge of that left foot. Really try to ground down into that pinky edge of the foot, engaging through that back thigh, and then we'll turn our shoulders forward. Front knee can have a little bend in it, or if you want to take it deeper, you can walk those toes forward and bend deeper. Just bringing that knee right above the ankle, grounding down into that front heel. Okay, finding your breath here, and then we're going to find some more movement with our breath. So first, just noticing how you are breathing, finishing that next exhale, and then on our breath in, we're going to reach these arms all the way up, straightening through that front leg, and on the breath out, bending that front leg as we reach the elbows down and back. Cactus arms, it's a great little shoulder and heart opener. Then we're going to inhale back up, straightening that leg, and as we exhale, we're going to keep the front leg straight. We're just going to hinge at the hips, reaching the heart forward, and the hands are going to reach down and back. So the palms are facing one another, reaching back through the fingertips, forward through the crown of the head. Inhale, let's bend that front knee, lift all the way up. Exhaling, cactus arms. Inhale, straight leg, arms reach up. Exhaling, hands reach back. We're just hinging at the hips, stay strong through that core. Inhale, bending that front knee, lifting those arms. Exhaling, cactus arms. So 2 times through that whole series. Inhaling up. Exhale, front leg straightens, arms reach back. Inhale, front knee bends, arms reach up. Exhaling, cactus arms. One more time. Inhaling up tall. Exhale, reaching forward through the heart. Inhaling, arms lift. Exhaling, cactus arms. Inhaling as we come back up here. And on the exhale, bringing those hands to your heart center. Once more, hinging forward at those hips until you can't fold any further. You'll find this spot where if you fold further, this front leg's gonna have to bend. So try and keep it straight. If you need to step that back foot in closer, you can always do that. But again, we're leading with the heart, with the chest, till you find that spot where you can't really fold any further. And then go ahead and release those hands. They can come to your leg, to the floor, anywhere along the way. We're gonna pause for 3 breaths. Dropping the chin a little closer to the chest. Try to draw that right hip back as you reach the left hip forward. One more full breath here. And then very slowly bending that front knee. Let's lower both hands to the floor. We're going to step this front foot back to our downward dog. Walking out those heels once again. Relaxing both heels towards the floor on our inhale. Let's come forward to our plank. Nice and strong. Shoulders draw down the back. And exhaling, bending those elbows, hugging them in along your sides. And inhale, lifting the heart forward and up. Into your cobra or upward dog. Exhaling, engaging that lower belly, lifting those hips back up, downward dog. And this time we're going to inhale, left leg lifts all the way up. Reaching it straight back behind you. And then exhale, bending the knee, drawing that foot towards the front of your mat. You can always reach back and help that ankle forward. Stepping that right foot in a little bit closer. Turning your foot out to the side. And slowly grounding down into that front heel as we lift up to our warrior 1. Bringing those hands to your heart center. Giving yourself a moment to pause, to check in, and just find and create your base. Starting down at those feet. So we ground down into the outer edge of the back foot, the heel of the front foot. Engaging through that core, and then finding the breath. On the inhale, as you feel ready to move, we'll stand up nice and tall, straightening both legs, reaching those arms up. And exhale, bending the elbows, bending the front knee, finding your cactus arms. Again, be aware, try not to bring that knee past the ankle. We'll inhale back up, keeping that front leg straight. As we exhale, hinging at the hips, reaching those hands back behind you. Inhale, reaching those arms back up, and exhaling, cactus arms. Try to move 1 movement per breath. Inhaling up tall, front leg straightens. Exhaling, arms reach back, shoulder blades glide down the spine. Inhale, front knee bends, arms reach up. Exhaling, cactus arms. 1 more time through that whole thing. Exhaling as you hinge at the hips. Inhale, reaching those arms up. Exhaling, cactus arms. Straightening that front leg, we'll bring those hands to our heart center. And as we breathe in, we lift up through that lower belly, through the sides of the torso. On the breath out, just hinging at those hips, folding over that front leg until you find that pause. As always, if it's uncomfortable or difficult to keep that front leg straight, maybe step that back foot in a little bit closer. And then you can release those hands to your thigh, your shin, the floor, wherever they land. Breathing into the back of that front leg just for 3 full breaths. You can soften through the chin, or through the neck, through the face, through the gaze. Maybe try to draw back through that left hip as you reach the right hip forward. Finishing that last breath here. And then bending that front knee so both hands can find the floor. We'll step this front foot back to our downward dog, adjusting those feet as needed, walking out those heels a few times. All right, and then inhale, let's come forward to our plank. Strong, you can stay on those knees, stay on those toes, whatever works for you. We'll inhale, Reaching the crown of the head forward, exhale, elbows bend, lowering half or all the way to the mat, and inhale, lifting the heart in your cobra or upper dog. Exhaling back down, forward fold, or back down to your mat. Inhaling back up, making your way back to that downward dog as the hips reach back and up. Okay, one more time. Inhaling, right leg lifts up. Exhale, stepping that foot towards the front of your mat. Inhale, we're gonna stand up nice and tall. The back heel is gonna stay lifted this time. And on the exhale, hands find our heart center as we turn to the right side, finding a little twist, a little bit of balance. Maybe we stay here. Maybe we deepen the twist by bringing elbow to knee, or we can open these arms. One hand to the floor, one hand to the sky. One full breath here. And then we'll slowly bring those hands back to heart center as we face forward, lowering those hands to the mat and stepping this front foot back and all the way up. Exhale, lowering it down. Inhaling opposite side, left leg lifts. Exhaling, bending the knees, stepping that foot through to the front. And inhale, slowly reaching those arms up. Use that front leg, that front heel to connect and ground down with the mat. Inhaling up nice and tall. Exhaling, hands to your heart center as we twist to the left towards that front leg. Once again, torso can stay lifted and long. You can deepen the twist by bringing elbow to knee, or you can open the arms. One more full breath here. Wherever you are holding. And then slowly bringing those hands back to your heart center, facing forward, lowering those hands down. We'll step back and all the way up. Lowering both feet back to the mat, back to that downward dog. And then slowly coming down to those knees, big toes come together. Sitting back to your child's pose. Now in your child's pose here, you can stay lowered with your forehead on the mat or your hands, or if it's more comfortable, you can have a seat up on those knees or just a regular seat on your mat. Take a moment here to find the breath. We're going to be here for about 5 more breaths. As you breathe in, imagine the breath filling the entire torso. So not only feeling the front of the chest move and fill with the breath in, but try to fill through the sides of the ribs, the sides of the belly. Filling that breath. Filling those areas as you breathe in and relaxing them as you breathe out. 2 more breaths here. All right, slowly as you feel ready, we'll walk those hands up. So we come up onto those knees, the knees pointing straight ahead, about hip width apart, and we'll come up tall onto those knees. If it's uncomfortable on the ground, you can double up your mat and bring that underneath those knees for some extra padding there. But we're just gonna roll those shoulders back and down a few times. And then we're gonna bring our hands to our lower back. So you can just, you can have your hand in fists or your palms flat, fingers pointing up or down, either way. But just try to take another big shoulder roll back and down. Those elbows pointing straight back behind you or in that direction. We'll inhale, turning that gaze up. And as you lift the gaze, try to lift up through the heart center as well, through the front of the chest. And then on the breath out, maybe we relax those shoulders, dropping them down away from those ears. Engaging those thighs to help strengthen and lift through those legs. Gently pressing those hips forward for 1 more full breath. Opening through the front of the body. And then slowly making your way back to center. As you're ready, lowering those hips back down onto those heels and go ahead and swing those feet around so you have a seat on your mat. And then we're going to extend this right leg out in front of us. The left leg, we're going to cross the foot over to the outside of your leg here. And then let's wrap that right arm around the knee. Very gently, just drawing that knee in a little bit closer to the chest. This foot might lift off the floor, it might not. But just drawing it in a little bit closer, bringing the knee towards the shoulder. And then we'll relax that knee down. Let's bring that left hand behind the body. And as we breathe in, we're going to sit up nice and tall. On the breath out, turning that gaze towards that left side. Slowly coming back to center when you're ready. We're just going to slide this ankle so it comes right above the knee here, flexing through that right foot. So you create a nice little figure four with those legs. As we breathe in, we lift through the torso. On the breath out, gently hinging at those hips, just like we did as we were folding over that front leg initially. Just try to reach with the chest, reach with the heart until you find that spot where you can't really move any further. And that's where you can soften through the shoulders. You can drop the chin towards the chest, bringing awareness to the back of that extended leg. Maybe you feel a little stretch or opening there. Maybe you feel a stretch or opening somewhere else in the lower back or the hips. Just 2 more breaths. Breathing into the space. Breathing out whatever you're holding on to there. And then on the next inhale, go ahead and slowly roll back up, uncrossing those legs. Switching sides as we keep that left leg extended, right foot comes to the floor on the outside. And let's wrap our opposite arm around. First starting by just inhale, lifting up tall, and exhale, drawing this front knee, this top knee in a little bit closer to the shoulder. Just pulling it nice and tight. And then releasing that foot, relaxing through the leg. We'll bring the right hand behind the body. And again, we inhale, lift through the lower belly all the way up to the crown of the head. Exhaling as we turn our shoulders and our gaze to that right side. And slowly making your way back to center on that next breath in. Bringing that left ankle right above that, right ankle right above that left knee. We'll inhale up nice and tall, engage through that lower belly, keep that lower back safe as we fold. Again, leading with the chest as you reach it towards that foot, finding that spot where you can't really fold any further. Hands can stay on the legs or they can come to the floor. Maybe they even stay behind you to help support. Finding that stillness. Finding the breath for 2 more full breaths here. And then on that next inhale, slowly rolling back up as we uncross those legs. Maybe we shake them both out. And then go ahead and scoot to the front of your mat or wherever you're at. Just make sure you have space clear behind you. We'll bring hands behind those knees and roll all the way down onto the back. Knees coming towards the chest, and feel free to just rock side to side a few times. As we continue to move those knees back and forth, let's open those arms out to the sides like in a T shape, palms on the floor. And each time those knees go to one side, maybe we take them a little bit lower. Starting to move those knees down towards the floor, using the strength of your core to help keep those knees up. Just rolling out through that lower back, through the sides of the hips. Let's go one more time each side. And then slowly bringing those knees back to center. 1 rock at a time. Okay, wrapping those arms around the legs. We're going to lift the forehead up towards those knees, drawing everything in nice and tight. Just for one more inhale, pulling it in a little bit more. And exhale, go ahead and relax those feet, relax those arms. Finding space here to pause for 10 breaths here. Maybe the feet stay on the floor, maybe the legs extend out in front of you. Wherever feels comfortable. Just finding the stillness, which is often the hardest part of yoga, is to be still. Excuse me. But as best as you can, staying with that breath. About 5 more breaths here. Making those inhales a little bit fuller, a little bit deeper. And those exhales a little bit longer, a little bit slower. Maybe one more full breath here. And then slowly bringing those knees back in towards the chest, wrapping those arms around the legs, and maybe just roll over onto one side. Pausing there for a moment to check in with how you feel, what you feel. And then slowly using those arms to help yourself back up to a seat. And then as you find your seat here, just sitting up nice and tall, our next breath in, let's take a breath in through the nose as you reach those arms up with you, and we'll breathe out through those nose, hands coming down to your heart center. Nice cleansing breath as we breathe in through the nose, and nice and long out through the mouth. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you feel a little more awake, a little more clear-headed, and ready to continue on with your day. Can't wait to see you next time. Namaste.